Hello, everyone who's joined in. So I'm back with yet another Instagram live with a poet this time, and I recently read his work called "On My Way to Infinity." Amogh Swamy felt spiritually drawn because of his mother and his grandfather, and he became fascinated with human mind and spirit. He surrendered himself to Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji. He came across teachings of Osho on awareness, and he embarked on a journey across India in uh, Surkanda Devi temple. He secluded himself, and that brought about a profound change in him. Amogh Swamy now resides in Germany. He is a freelance writer, poet, dramaturg, and musician. He teaches meditation and passes on his master's teachings to the people around him. And when I read the book On My Way to Infinity, I was thoroughly stunned by the way the poetry is woven around spirituality, and there was so much it was indeed profound, and there was so much maturity in the words that I was literally astounded. And in today's session I'll be talking to poet Amogh Swamy and trying to understand a bit more about the book and how it came to be. So I'll be adding Amogh right away. So, the book has not only garnered attention in India, it's already a #1 bestseller in India, but it is also bestseller in USA, Australia, UK. So that's some achievement there for such a unconventional book, because often you read about spirituality in a non-fiction format, but to read it in verse is something very different. So I'll just add a mock to the live and let's get started. Hi Amogh, how are
Hello,
you?
hello, Siddhi. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
First of all, congratulations on the phenomenal success of the book. It's not just in India, it's a bestseller across the globe now.
Thank
Only a few, I think. Yeah, you've almost covered the entire world, entire globe, yeah. So congratulations, and it does deserve this kind of success.
thank you so much. Thank you. You've been very kind actually. Even with your review, it was very heartwarming. Thank you. Very kind
For a
words.
spiritual seeker, that was like that's something, a dose of spirituality which I needed, and I think you've supplied an ample with your verses, and it's so profound. I don't think I've ever read a poetry book as profound as yours, that's steeped in spirituality.
Thank,
So amazing job there.
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Means a
So
lot. Thank
tell
you.
me, when did you decide to pen this book?
So it was very organic. I feel because it only started as an admission to my master. Um, and it was in 2019 November. I remember the date because I immediately after that I encountered my first COVID. So yeah, Prayer to the Holy, which is the first poem, was
Mhm.
actually even was the first the idea conceivement.
Right.
And yeah, even during that time, I would say the the idea of making it a book was not there.
Mhm.
Uh, I think the second poem came, which is This Space, which is the last but one poem. So then I had an urge maybe to show up and write. Maybe something is trying to say something. I just need to show up
Right.
and it will flow through me. And yeah, I felt it was too organic. But I knew with the second poem, when I decided, okay, I will show up for this muse to come through me, I knew the name of the book would be On My Way to Infinity.
Lovely,
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
And how long did it take for you to finish this book? And
So,
how
yeah.
did you know that you had to stop there?
Oh, yeah. Very beautiful, beautiful question. Um, so it was from 2019 November. It was on and off. Um, actually, I can't say. It's just that I am the lucky one to read the book first, I would say, because it is I I can't say that I Amogh, this name form, the body, this wrote that. It really yeah, every time I read, I just feel with me, with my own history, and that bias I have. I just, when I read it, or when I read it for the first time after it was there in front of me, I felt no, this I can't. I with me with that bias, I don't think I can come up with something like this. And so yeah, it was uh, and yeah, throughout the entire journey was like that. And I feel, and during the process again, I penned down two other books on relationships. One was Parenting Your Romance. Other one was called rom-com, romantic communication. And both of them I finished my first draft. I tried so hard to publish that. It didn't happen. And this one, without any effort, it just came. It was as if somebody had summoned me and given a mission, and yeah, it went
Yes.
so smoothly. And even what I observed was when I just used to show up, and I used to not get anything for hours together. So during those times, I just used to look up and just just stare at the sky, and then suddenly I feel the reader used to tell me what to write. Reader, or I don't know, maybe because, for example, if we take Siddhi, so maybe I feel most of the times that Siddhi summoned me to write it, or any readers who. So as of now, I think I've sold 1,300 books. I think those 1,300 people cumulatively, maybe whatever they wanted to see, they summoned me. And a lot of times they were also rewriting those poems. And I also feel those feedback was also given from them. It might seem very abstract, but this is how I feel, because
No.
I simply can't say that it was. I can't take any ownership. Yeah, in simple
I
way.
think it might be collective energy, but at the same time, divine speaks through us. So we, most of the time, we don't realize that. I've read books by certain authors, and it's called psychography, where you are guided by the divine, and it's called, in other words, in a simpler format, it's called automatic writing. So it's where the divine comes, talks to you. You don't realize what you're doing. And you just take the pen, paper, and sit down and write. So that's what, maybe it was the collective energy, or maybe it was the divine. But it certainly, when I was reading it, it certainly seemed like psychography to me. And moving on to our next question, what, according to you, is the key element that any poem that instantly, in any poem that instantly strikes a chord with the reader?
Um, Instantly strikes a chord with the reader. I strongly feel any format, any form of art, for example, because I'm also a musician and
Yes.
I'm a dramaturg. So what I have observed is, I think artist does half of the work. Artist, writer, musician does half
Right.
of the work, the audience or the reader or the listener will do the other half. And that's what
Right.
makes the art so powerful for that particular individual. Now, for
Right.
example, you felt that this poem, and you gave such a beautiful review for which I'm very grateful for. And that you completed. I had written half, or it had come through me half of the way, and you completed with your own understanding. And
True.
you, maybe if you read it 1 year later or 5 years later or 20 years
Right.
later, you'll be having a different understanding, and
True.
yeah, that'll be a different art again. So
Correct.
um, striking a chord, I don't know. I just was showing up. I feel I just was showing up. I just knew
Yeah.
something, because as I said, it was on and off. It was not always there. It was on and off.
Correct.
So I
Mhm.
just showed up, and it came. And as far as craft is concerned, I have spent a lot of time learning poetry. Big shout out to a lot of my teachers and mentors who have been there, and yeah, how do you say
So,
that, in the lap of their hands. Yeah.
so now that you speak about craft, I would like to know, while crafting a poetry, what is your thought process like?
Thought process is, I think, the toughest part I felt was sitting there hours together looking at the blank page and
Mhm.
persevering and hoping that something comes.
Right.
And when nothing is coming, just start off, uh, probably scribbling. And the poetry or any form of art is in rewriting. A lot of things come. Probably one poem you see is probably 10-20 pages of very, yes, gibberish writing, and then
No.
you feel you've you've poured out everything, and once you look back,
Mhm.
you find some gems. It's like calling out for attention. Hey, I'm there, pick me up. So I think
Right.
that's how you pick up from those 20 pages, and that becomes probably not even 20 lines. And again, on top of that, you rewrite, and then uh, match it with the rhythm and the rhyme. But some of them, which were, if you've observed, not everything is going with rhythm and rhyme,
No.
because some of them were so intimate, especially the first poem, Prayer to the Holy, which is one of the gift from my master himself, I feel. So yeah, I feel this way.
Right. So, how did you decide which poetry goes in this book? What was your selection process like?
Siddhi, I'll tell you this secret. I had hired a formatter. I decided on 30 poems. It's 32 now. I just decided on
Right.
30 poems, and
Mhm.
I had hired a formatter. He started formatting,
Okay.
and I think he had given me 10 days deadline. I think 10 days that he would give back this thing. And on the second day,
Mhm.
I got this idea that why don't I create this arc? Because I have also taken courses on, since I'm a dramaturge, and I know how the story works, how for example, one of my mentors, Jessica Brody, has helped me a lot. So Jessica
Mhm.
Brody, she's the author of Save the Cat Writes a novel. So initially, it was about writing a novel for me, and then it went to screenwriting, and then it went to creating drama elements for the dancers. So it just occurred to me. It just occurred to me. It was not even planned. It was so spontaneous, and
Mhm.
then I just tried with those 30 poems. I just tried what makes it a journey, and then and then I felt, okay, I had my own journey. Why don't I reflect back? And then yeah, it is very similar to how very similar. I don't say it is my journey.
Right.
It is very similar to how I, as of now, how I am. It is flawed. So
Right.
yeah, this was on the second day after I hired the
Right.
format. Jacek Pawlowski, a big shout out to him to make this, to have made this so beautiful. Yeah.
So if you remember, I've mentioned the same in my review as well, that it is taking you towards spirituality one step at a time. And I think that kind of shows in the way this formatting is being done. So congratulations to you on that as well. Because
Thank you.
if that thought process worked and it shows, then you've won already, right? So which amongst these poems is your favorite one? Difficult question, I know.
Okay. Uh, uh, okay. Can I choose a little more, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, please.
I just have the book here,
Yeah.
and of course, Prayer to the Holy is very, very special. As I said, it feels like it has come directly from my master. And Burning into the Infinite, which is again the second poem. Uh, this, Siddhi, I would like to share the story if this is okay. Um, I was, I used to go to different places in and around Hamburg and sit there
Mm-hmm.
till I get something out.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm making a powerful admission to that muse or my master, so that he comes and speaks through this hand. So that I am fortunate to read that. And this didn't come. This didn't come. I think I spent around 4 or 5 hours, and
Mm-hmm.
it was so frustrating, and it was getting dark, and I had a strong urge to finish and go, and yeah, I gave up. I was about to pack up my bag, and
Mm-hmm.
then suddenly I had an urge to sit again, and then I, for very powerful
Okay.
it was, and I I finished and I read it, and oh, it was
Right.
so special. It was so special.
Right.
And Burning into the Infinite, and in or out. And there's one more special poem. I Wonder Who Wonders. Do you remember I Wonder Who Wonders? So this was
Right.
actually a dream, a poor, very poor translation of a dream I had.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, and this was very early in the morning, and so if you remember, it goes in the last paragraph. It says, "I still wonder to this day if I vanished with that meeting as I ate from that bowl, the bowl that he begged, the smile, the sorrow, all the things bittersweet, and none left to experience." So at this point, I vanished from that scape, and I woke up here. And
Wow.
yeah, I just again had a strong urge to scribble things down, and
Right.
maybe I tried rewriting for maybe more than 10, 12 months, 1 year around. And
Right.
finally, yeah, I settled with this poor translation.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Not many can achieve that much as well. I've read poorest translations. So utna bhi nahi ho payega kisi se. But I don't think so any of your poems is poor translation or poor English, poor nothing. I think it's highly profound, highly mature, and highly spiritual content there. And anybody, in my opinion, who doesn't want to read any self-help book can just pick up your book and understand the true essence of spirituality. So that
Oh, thank you.
is what you've given the readers across the globe. And now to my next question.
Ah,
Now
just,
that you're
sorry,
published,
sorry, sorry,
yes,
sorry.
yes,
Just one last favorite poem I would like to
yes,
talk
please.
of. It's the acknowledgements poem.
Yes,
And
yes, that was quite unconventional. Quite unconventional. And I mean, to do such an amazing job throughout and then not have an acknowledgement like that, I would have been surprised.
and again, Siddhi, one more secret. This was written 2 days before the deadline.
Oh,
Actually,
seriously?
26th March was when I published.
Mm-hmm.
25th was when I got the final edit from the formatter. This
Mm-hmm.
was written on 23rd. 22nd March was my birthday, and 22nd March I was making a draft, and 23rd I finalized. And
Right.
this
Mm.
became my one of the most favorite poems for me. And every day I go back to
Cool.
it to see how blessed I feel I am. And I probably most of the days, whenever I remember to pick up the book, I start my day with that.
Amazing. I think most of us who can, would want to write a poetry should start being, writing acknowledgement first. Gratitude matters. Right?
Sure.
So now my question is, now that you're a published poet,
Mhm.
successful book across the globe, how does that feel?
Uh, Nothing much has changed, but I can't deny the fact that I've been getting a lot of opportunities. I've been a
Right.
musician from a long time, but recently I got discovered, and I'm also playing for a rock band here in
Mm-hmm.
Hamburg. So for which I'm really grateful for. I also got into a radio show here in Hamburg. So even for that, I'm extremely grateful for. And the RJ said around 1.5 to 2 million people stream, because it's a global platform, and it's still
Right.
available uh, to stream. So these things are very new for me. That is one thing. Otherwise, the opportunities are very beautiful, and a lot of people write me because I've in my book I've given my email out.
Right.
So listening to how the book had an impact on them, it feels so fulfilling, and it feels, yeah, it's a blessing really to read those. It's really
True. It is. It is. So of course, I mean, it is a blessing. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to, or anybody for that matter. It's not easy writing, combining spirituality with poetry. So my next question is just that. Why did you decide to combine spirituality with poetry? Was it guided?
I would say everything was guided by that muse or my master. I can say my master. Every time I say my master, I have three people who shaped me. Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji. He actually gave the foundation. He laid proper foundation, which doesn't shake regardless of what storm comes. And then through him, I actually got to know about Osho, and one of his books, Awareness, A Key to Living in
Mm.
Balance. I will never
Right.
ever forget. It was January 1st, 2014, 7:45 p.m. when I closed. I read it in one shot, 6.5 hours.
Right.
And I closed the book. I saw
Mm-hmm.
the word, and it was not the same. Uh, I can say my life before that, closing the book, was one chapter, and after that was another one. And after meeting my master Muji in Rishikesh, yeah, it is a totally different chapter. So
Right.
extremely grateful for my masters. Whenever I say, and even this one, the page and the dedication to my father. So
Right.
even this, I call all of them my father. Even my biological father, who I can't tell you how, I think I will.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Right.
extremely grateful for all of them, and I feel extremely blessed. I can just say that. Extremely blessed and
Right.
forever grateful.
I would love to continue this conversation because there's so much of calmness talking to you. It's actually reaching out to me. And I guess all my nervousness is just dissipated because of the way you are, how your energies are channeled. So, but still, we'll have to end this live with this one question which I have and which I ask most of my followers, most of the people I come across who have an understanding of spirituality. In a few sentences, if you had to explain spirituality, what would you say it is?
Mm. Okay, can we have 2 minutes? Can
Yeah,
I do this in 2 minutes?
of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So, eyes closed, eyes open, doesn't matter, but you would go deeper if you could close your eyes
Mm-hmm.
and just try catching your next thought. Just like you're a cat and a mouse comes out of the hole, you try catching the mouse. Similarly, here the mouse is your thought.
Yeah.
So you try that and see if any thought comes. Is there any thoughts now? And now don't worry about if any suggestions from your mind come. What next? What now? Okay, now that nothing is coming, now what? Okay, something from the past pops up. Just drop it for this moment. And some imagination or projection of the future comes, again, drop it for the moment. And now again, is there anything in this? So spirituality for me, as my master has guided me, is being in this space, exploring this space, and finally finding who observes this space. Who is the one who's observing this space? And a lot of things might come, thoughts might come, feelings, sensations, different realms, and a lot of things might be happening externally. But again, checking back and going back here, a lot of things might come again, non-judgmentally, without beating yourself up, coming back again to this space and staying, abiding there. After you feel comfortably home in this space, then trying to find who is witnessing this space is my little understanding of spirituality. Of course, which was bestowed upon by my guru, my master.
Right. That was quite, I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. You do not have to describe.
It was so calming. It was so calming. Like I told you earlier as well, that you're passing on your energies through this medium, despite the fact that we are like, there's so much of distance between us. Like you're in Germany, I'm in India, Mumbai. And yeah, that's again, that's spirituality, right? Um, so thank you so much for doing this live with me. I would love to stay in touch with
Yeah.
you. And all my viewers, big shout out to your friends and family. They're joined in, and I see so many of the people who might be your friends. And a huge shout out to all of you who are staying, who have stayed throughout this live. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed this live as much as I did doing it. And thank you so much, Amogh, for doing this live with me. It was one amazing experience for me, truly from the bottom of my heart. And if you guys are watching this live after I'm done with it, or if you're watching it now, I would urge you guys to go ahead, pick up Amogh's book, On My Way to Infinity, because believe me, there is no book that will guide you into spirituality the way On My Way to Infinity will do, because it takes you into spirituality one step at a time, and in the most beautiful way, most appealing way. It's so poetic and it's so profound and so mature. I've been saying this from the start of this live session. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Amogh, and it was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same here. Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you. Thank you.